It's raining. Such a beautiful thing to wake up to. So it's pretty wet, but it doesn't look like we got all that much water based on what's in the wheelbarrow. I'm gonna go check on the chickens. It feels very cold, but yeah, even their food is not wet. So it seems to me that it didn't rain all that much. Do you have an egg for me? Are you gonna peck me? No eggs yet, just the fake eggs. So we actually have more chickens in this space than we would like to have, but 5 of them are older hens that probably will be gone by the end of summer. And also something we're really trying to figure out is how to properly secure underneath our trampoline. So we used this for a while for chicks when they were younger because they're not as big of escape artists, but now that these chickens are getting older, they really try and get out, and we can't have them getting out in the yard. So we're just trying to figure out a way to fasten this a bit better, and then we'll kind of make a tunnel, let's see, from that coop in, or that run into this under the trampoline so that they can have a bit more space. So if you've watched any of my previous garden videos, you'll remember that my tomato plants were not looking so great, and I've been taking care of them extra, and a lot of them look a lot better, but there's still a few that don't. And from what I've learned, the purpling is just because they need, or the soil doesn't have enough nutrition in it. And so I just got off the phone with my mom, and she's trying something new this year with her tomato plants. So I'm gonna go in and make some special fertilizer myself and see if it helps my tomato plants. Yes, I am going to use banana peels as a fertilizer to see if I can help these plants come alive again. First, I'm going to wash them off because these are just regular store-bought bananas. They're not organic, and you never know what was sprayed on them. I don't always buy organic bananas just because they have such thick peel, but maybe for this purpose next time I will. So I'm going to peel a few bananas, and I'm just going to put the bananas in the freezer, and we'll use them later for some banana bread or some recipe. So the reason banana peels are supposed to be helpful, beneficial to plants is because they have lots of nutrients. They have potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium all in their peels. So you can soak them whole, it said, in water, or you can chop them up, and it's supposed to be better. It soaks the nutrients leach out of it a lot quicker. So I'm just going to chop them up, and then I'm going to throw them in a bucket with a whole bunch of water, and then we're going to let it sit for a few days. It said even an hour. The website I was reading said you could even leave it for an hour, but I'll probably end up leaving it for a few days, and then we'll use it to water some of our tomato plants and see if that helps them come back to life a little. Now that I've got that outside, I'm going to make breakfast. This morning, I thought I would make something yummy because it's a cold morning. I thought I would make some blueberry muffins. And if you know me, I don't like things that take a long time. So I actually use muffin recipes and just put them in cake pans because making actual muffins and washing a muffin tin is just not something I enjoy doing. So first here I need to soften the butter because it was in the fridge. So I'm just sticking in the oven because we don't have a microwave. So I just stick it in the oven just for a few minutes, not long. It will melt quite quickly, but just to soften the butter, and then I'm going to throw it in the mixer with the paddle attachment. If you're interested in this recipe, I'll link it down below. It's not my own recipe, but because I cannot follow a recipe to save my life, it is a variation of the recipe I'll put down below. I always use less sugar than almost every recipe I use. I just find most things have way too much sugar in them. So I think it called for 1.25 cups, and I put a little less than 1 cup in there. Now I'm just putting the butter in with the sugar, and I'm just going to mix it until it's as smooth as possible. Because I like to use the raw sugar, it doesn't get as smooth as like a refined sugar, but it doesn't seem to affect the end result. Now I've got to grab a couple eggs to add. These are our eggs from our yard. And I'm telling you, if you've never had a chance to get eggs from your own yard, it is so satisfying. Strongly recommend, if you're allowed to keep chickens, to just keep a couple, because it's just such a satisfying experience. So I add these 2 eggs to my mixture and I mix it. Once it's incorporated, I add the vanilla. It looks like I'm almost out of vanilla, so maybe this will be my push to try and make my own vanilla. I've always wanted to do it and I haven't done it yet, and I was actually gifted some this Christmas and it was so good. I really would like to make my own. Now I'm going to add my flour. If I was making an actual like birthday cake, I would be not scooping my flour like that. I would be adding my flour with a spoon to the measuring cup. But because these kind of coffee cakes or snack cakes, I kind of go by how the mixture is, how thick the mixture is, so I'm not as concerned about if the flour gets packed into a measuring cup. Now I'm going to add our salt and our baking powder. And our salt you've heard me talk about before. Our salt we get from Redmond's Real Salt. It is not processed nearly as much, so it has all those minerals in it, which is why our salt is not white. And then I'm adding baking powder as well. So now I'm just going to add the milk. I add what is called for in the recipe, but then I leave the milk out just in case I need more. Because I measured my flour the way I did, sometimes the batter is a touch thicker, so I need to add some more milk afterwards. And then of course, blueberries. I just have frozen blueberries, and I find if you just mix them in with the flour on top, they don't all sink, but your batter will be quite a bit bluer. You can see that it's quite thick, and so I added some more milk. You want your mixer to be able to mix it pretty easily. It shouldn't be like a thick biscuit dough. Because I ended up putting this in a pan and not in a muffin tin, I ended up having to lower my oven temperature 25 degrees, and I'm going to end up having to bake it for quite a bit longer.